Coming up on the show, we've got a jam-packed show for you. Leeds United transfer wish list. Who do we want? Matheus Cunha, is he staying or winning a European trophy for us? Performance so far this season for the team. Real Sociedad in a friendly tomorrow night. Any of you guys, you going? No. No. And we'll do a little quiz as well. I will tell you what it's about because you'll already be Googling it. My name's Adonis. Google. You know me as @the on Twitter. It's a very good hello from me. Joining us is the friendliest man on the internet at Barney LUFC 21. Barnes.
Hi, all right?
I'm very well, thank you, Barney. How are you? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, been staying away from certain websites.
Of course.
Not going on there?
Nope.
Checking your name. And the one, the only, Big Mac, the Prince of Dankness himself, at Ewan Metcalf.
That's not got quite the ring to it, has it, that the darkness one's got? But hello, everybody. Okay, nice to see you, Barney. Been a long time since we've been on the podcast together, but
it has.
Nice to have you back, mate.
Unpleasantly damp and cold is the meaning for dank, apparently. But
cold, maybe. I'm not damp at the moment. Moist, maybe.
From what I know of it,
again.
It's some very good weed, is it?
Oh, well.
Is that right?
Maybe not too far. It's not too far from the truth. Is it? Don't know. You'd know more about that than me, mate. Me being a clean living Catholic boy.
Oh yes, yes. That's what you're known for. There you go. Really potent weed. There you go. Dank. Slang term for describing something as excellent. There you go. That's what I knew it as. Something that's excellent.
We got there in the end.
Yeah. Hi, Adonis and guys, says Gail. It's freezing. Cold. Says Gail. You cold? You been cold in the snowstorms?
Well, it's not snowed where we have. Where we?
Yeah, Donny's just took a jumper off because he said it's hot, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, but we've got
just rubbing it in here.
We got the fire roaring there. We got
roaring.
Yeah. It's like the engine room of a steamship or something. It's more coal is a shovel it in. Transfers. Should we talk about that? Should we talk about Leeds United?
Transfers? Are we going to make? Are we just dreaming here? We're not going to be making any transfers, are we?
No. You got any stories? What have you been up to? You've had a birthday, Mac.
Yeah,
can everybody.
40. Yeah, some 40 again. Yeah, I had a birthday December. Yeah, a weekend of debauchery. Not debauchery anymore, but yeah, it was quite busy. We had a lot of people around to the house on the Friday, the 9th. My birthday's on the 8th, so I was out with the kids. And then Saturday went into town, so just a bit of everything, a bit of family time, a bit of mates around at the house having a drink up time, which finished at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then, Saturday I was out with the missus in town. Didn't watch the England game I watched the first half, and then went out to Iberica, which is a lovely tapas place in Leeds, and had a lovely meal and had a few drinks, and didn't even watch England whimper out of the World Cup, which is probably the best way to do it, actually.
There you go. So if you don't watch, you're not disappointed.
There you go. Thank you, Nora. It's only live once, and if you miss it once, you don't give a fuck. It's great.
Right. Yeah.
But thanks for the birthday wishes, guys. Appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Ewan, says Nora. Barnes, you haven't had a birthday.
I haven't. It's next month, mine.
Right. What date?
16th.
Okay. And what year? What year were you born in?
1982.
Okay. What's your bank card details?
Bank account and stock code details.
It's nothing. I'm just a bit of identity theft. It's not...
See what I did there?
If somebody does that to you, by the way, it's not me. Oh dear. What signings, says Gail? Indeed. What signings? Yeah, we are going to have to talk about Leeds at some point. Best wishes, says Liam B. And Liam also says, Liam. Hello, lads. Leeds. Yeah, it's back to Leeds. Come on, Leeds United. We've had enough of England. We don't need to talk about England anymore.
Set the scene, Donny. Set the scene. Who have we been linked with? Because you mentioned a couple of people who were in game, and I didn't know about that. So you're probably more in the know than us.
Right.
ITK, Donny.
We've been linked with. I don't know how to say his name now. Even though I watched him in the World Cup, but Azzedine Ounahi. Never heard of him. Plays for. He had a great World Cup for Morocco. He plays for French.
Yeah. Number 8.
Yes, exactly.
He's good. Yes,
and Azzedine. We'll be talking about names a lot in this pod. And Azzedine, I have to say, is a fantastic. I thought I had a good name. And yes, my parents gave it to me. I don't have that much of an ego.
Your name's been made up, mate. That's why he's just tried to identity theft you, Barney, because he just keeps stealing people's identities.
Yeah.
I know who Adonis Storrs is, but it's definitely not. Lad from Leeds is not called Adonis Storrs. Nobody in Leeds is called Adonis Storrs.
Yeah. Barney sounds more believable than the last one I picked.
The last 3 that he's had.
So actually, Radrazani, who's been in Qatar. His his second favourite destination after Myanmar, of course. He even texted Victor Orta and was saying, "Oh, Victor, why haven't you told me about this kid? He's brilliant." So he could be one.
Yeah, really? How did you know that?
Text Orta. Yeah, because Orta said it in an interview.
All right. Bloody hell.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I'll mention a name. Ounahi, the Moroccan number 8, said Orta. How many messages have I received about him? Even my president has messaged me. Where was this guy? We haven't even seen him.
And why did you not sign Guardiola? And why did you not sign him that we should have had as well? And,
right. Yeah.
How much are we going to get for Tyler Adams in January window so we can spend it on who we've been linked with every transfer window forever?
Ryan Kent.
Ryan Kent, there you go.
He made it into the thumbnail, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So sell Adams, get Kent in. That's what we've been wanting to do for ages. That's the real modus operandi. But I think I like the guy, the number 8 for I won't butcher his name, but the number 8 for Morocco is great. And is it Amrabat, whatever?
Yeah.
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
Controlled,
Amrabat.
good range and controlled. So it's like anything. It's like going to a shop. It's like saying going to like Harvey Nichols and looking at stuff you can't really afford and admiring it from afar and saying that.
Like Calvin Phillips.
Yeah. There's quite a few players who stood out. The right back for Croatia, is it Juranovic, was it? I thought it was really good. Played really well against a good attacking fullback. That we don't need a right back, do we? Let's be honest. So yeah, you always see a few stars, don't you, that seem to shine, but whether we're in for any of them or whether we get any is another story.
The left back I was looking at was Guerreiro, Raphaël Guerreiro, who plays for Portugal. I think he'd be good.
The one that I liked was the left back was it Souza?
Yeah,
Croatia. Yeah, he looked good. Yeah, good as well. To be honest, I was looking at every left back. He could do a job for us. He's a left back. Yeah.
The Japanese one was good, and then I looked at his age, and I was like, oh no, 30.
Mr. Miyagi, he's 148 years of age. Yeah. I think the other lad that stood out was the Australian Scooter, whatever his Scooter.
Yeah.
He looked good. Is he at Stoke? I think we looked at 20 mil for him.
Yep.
I get the impression he'd just be a right donkey at Leeds there. I don't know why, but I think we'd spend a lot of money on him and he'd be shit. But just my negativity shining through.
Apparently, we've looked at McKenna as well from the USA.
Weston McKenna.
Yeah. The thing is, he's one of those players that could look really, really good in games or really, really shit. There was no happy medium with him when I watched it.
That sounds like every Leeds player from the last.
Yeah,
I'm going to say sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Game signed up. That Rodrigo, he's either really good or he's really shit. There's no in between. There's no 8 out of 10. It's either 9 or 3.
No matter how badly Tyler Roberts would play, there'd be always somebody who'd be like, "Yeah, but remember that whole game."
Yeah. Okay, that QPR game when he scored winner. Yeah, great. That was like 3 years ago. I'll tell you what's interesting is the American loving that we have at the moment. That because I think we've been linked to Musa, and I must admit I wasn't keen on Dest, but he looked really good as well. So there's a few players that it sounds like we're going to sign a whole American team basically.
But that's what Chelsea want to do as well. Apparently, Ted Bowley has come out and said he wants to increase the US contingent at Chelsea.
To sell shirts, well, I don't think I think they can afford to buy just about anybody. So why you dip into America, I don't know. I don't think if we could get the lad who's at Chelsea cheap, the old lad, what's he called?
Pulisic.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a bad. He's had a bit of experience. I thought he had a good tournament. Sort of made a difference quite a lot. But yeah, just.
The other name is Matheus Cunha. Atletico Madrid and Brazil. I think the trouble is he scored about 6 times in 40 appearances for Atletico Madrid. He is the striker. Obviously, they play a 4-4-2 and a very defensive.
Yeah, I would say that nobody attacking shines at that club, do they? Who was the lad who plays for Portugal who looked really good? The young lad, and he's there as well, and he's doing nothing there. But
João Felix.
The strengths. Yeah, they don't play to their strengths, do they? Atletico.
Yep. Okay. Probably we will sign a couple of young 16-year-olds, says Gildale.
Well, we've linked with that Birmingham lad, isn't it?
George
18-year-old. Yeah. If he's going to be like Bellingham, get him in.
Yeah, why not? I mean, Bellingham's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's starting to make sense 19. That they retired his shirt. Are they going to retire George Hall's shirt when they sell him to us?
Yeah. Once in a generation talent, I think, probably Bellingham. I don't think you'll get 2 of them. Certainly not from Birmingham, but who knows? Just sign some people with some pubic hair whose voice is broken, please, Radrazani, for fuck's sake.
Hi, Ewan and Barney. Nice to see you guys, says Gail. Nice to see you, Gail. Senegal striker linked. Yes, Dia. Dia. It didn't overly impress me.
The thing is, though,
warm body territory. I think we're getting. He did score a goal, but
has he got a heartbeat? Can he walk?
Barney?
No, I wasn't overly impressed.
The thing is, though, I remember years ago during the World Cup, there's always players that used to go to, like the prime example is Diouf that went to Liverpool from Senegal because he had a fantastic tournament and absolutely flopped at Liverpool. And sometimes just getting players that's played well in the tournament seems to. I can't remember. I'm probably wrong, but I can't remember a player that's like excelled once they made that transfer.
At Leeds, though. Brilliant. Leeds.
Brilliant.
That's great.
And his little mini version was brilliant as well. Wishful thinking. Rad's keeping his money in his pocket, says Liam B. Yeah, evening chaps, says Derek.
Hey, Derek.
Hi, Derek. Great to see a lot of the old gang back together now that we've stopped talking about England.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? How to lose viewers and to not influence people. Talk about England.
Nice one, Adonis, about Roberts. Thanks, Gail. Look at that. Got a good point. And I got some positive feedback. That's fantastic. That's all you need, isn't it? I hope my boss is watching this. Stunik, wasn't Scooter Kermit's nephew in the Muppets?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Probably still better than Firpo. I'd take Cookie Monster at this rate, Stu. Rolling around in his garbage bin.
I think the biggest transfer is going to be, I think we're going to see a takeover in January. I think the 49ers are finally going to take over.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think Rads was having far too much fun in Qatar on his phone, bragging about his football club, talking with all the other football club owners and messaging his football director about this great new wonder kid that he's just discovered.
But I can just imagine Rads in Qatar. He's like probably a Del boy saying, "Oh yeah, I've got a football club," where he's talking to some multi-millionaires and
the Italian Del boy.
Yeah, it just feels a little bit like that sometimes, doesn't it?
Only fools and lasagnas.
I was just going to say what this time next year is in Italian, but I won't bother.
Gail makes it.
Questo anno prossimo, Rodney.
Wow.
We'll be millionaires.
This time next year. Smash the like button, guys and girls, says Gail Dale. It's a very good point from Gail. Cunha, Arsenal and Chelsea after him, says Gail. That's the thing about it, isn't it? So everyone's after him. Everyone's after them now. Looked up at Unani, and you've got, welcome to Barcelona and all of that. So it's, it's not as if there's going to be any lack of competition for these players.
The thing is, Barney just said it. The other thing about some of these players is, they represent their countries for lots of various reasons far better than they ever, in some ways, represent the club. And I don't know, when he's playing at a fairly low level French club, the Moroccan lad, is it Rennes or somewhere? Not Rennes, is it?
Angers.
Angers, yeah. Not exactly prolific French team, or top of the league or whatever, or the league. So I don't know. I just think sometimes they can represent the country amazing because they've got all that passion for where they're from and being all together with their brothers from Morocco or Iran or wherever it might be. And sometimes when you take them out of that context and put them in a different country, it's a very different proposition. It's settling and different culture and weather and all that. It makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah, the level of opposition is not as good either, is it? Let's face it. When you're playing teams like Qatar and Iran and South Korea, it's, if you've got, one or two superstars and the rest of them sort of really are almost non-league. Right. We are linked to everybody and the kitchen sink, says Liam. Yep, that's the way it works, isn't it? They've discovered that Leeds fans breed engagement, so got to get those clicks in. I remember Brolin came to Leeds after a World Cup. What a loss he was, says Joseph Williamson.
He was amazing in USA 94 as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Really good.
And he was playing in Italy, which was the sort of Premier League at the time.
Yeah.
All the richest clubs there.
Was it Parma?
Parma, wasn't it?
Yeah. And they were a top club then as well.
They were. Aspria was there. Brolin. I can't remember, was another player who was really famous at Parma.
Was Crespo there at the time?
Crespo, I think, was there.
Yeah.
Lombard. I think Lombardo was at Sampdoria. I think he went to Parma as well. So yeah, they had a good side.
You watch Football Italia?
Oh, I loved it.
When I was young, it was fucking brilliant. It was like the first delve into sort of internet, a different culture's football, wasn't it? I think really deep delve in. And James Richardson was fantastic. I think if they did it now, they would probably focus more on the culture and the food and everything else. They'd kind of roll it all up into one big, and it'd be brilliant. It could definitely have legs. And I think Italian football went through a phase after that where it was quite boring and quite predictable. But actually now, following Napoli, top of the league, and Atlanta and teams like that doing really well, it's actually quite an exciting league again. There's some, there's some boring games. You've still got your Roma and your teams that kind of go out to get a 1-0 win every week. But it's quite an exciting league again. It's the Italian league, so it definitely have legs. But yeah, I loved it. It was brilliant.
There was something so great about James Richardson just sitting at a cafe with his newspapers.
It was so like, I want to be European. Then you were sat at home drinking, I'll be European, have a nice coffee, and you're basically getting some gold blend out and put it in a small cup, reading the Sun newspaper or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
I've just been handed this note. Look at this. You keep touching the mic and it's loud. Thanks, Nora.
Cheers, Nora.
Sorry about that, everybody.
I adjudicate.
Is that a euphemism?
No, I actually do appreciate that, but
yeah, the thing about the Italian football, Italia was all influenced like Sunday League football as well. So everybody had like Puma Kings and Adidas Coppers or whatever. Yeah. Guys, suddenly Lotto boots became the one, didn't they? So I remember buying a pair of Lotto, the luminous green Lotto badge with Donadoni signature on them.
I think I had those ones as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the Donadoni boots were amazing, and then there was some Zola ones, and I can't remember the other guy. I bought loads of Lotto boots at that time. They were really nice boots, actually, really soft leather, really comfortable.
Nedved, and the kits as well.
Totti.
Yeah. Because I was a fat lad as well, and the Italian kits were like really baggy, so you didn't look like a fat lad trying to play football because they were meant to be quite baggy on you. And they had long sleeve shirts as well. Why don't they do long sleeve shirts anymore?
Yeah.
I love a long sleeve shirt. It's great, classic, isn't it? But yeah, the shirts. I mean, Fiorentina shirt was always a beauty. Parma's away kit, the yellow and blue one, was fantastic, especially if you're a Leeds fan.
Yeah. Juventus had a third kit one season. I think it was 95.
Was that the one with the St George's cross down the middle of it?
Who was that? No, it wasn't them.
They had a kit. Inter Milan. Sorry, had a big St George's cross. Like, it was unbelievable. Really good kits. I think they've lost the ability to make a really standout, simple kit. You know, it's always very overcomplicated now. But there were some beauties back then. You know, obviously AC Milan's kit's a classic. What I used to do is I went to Italy a lot, as people probably already know, but I always bought a pair of shorts from the place where we were. So I've got shorts from Bologna, Messina in Sicily, Palermo. Palermo's kit's a beauty, pink as well. There's very few people can get away with a really tight pink kit, and I'm not one of those people, I hasten to add, but I have got some Palermo shorts.
The Venezia kits were fantastic.
Beauty, yeah. It still is.
Fiorentina.
Yeah, Fiorentina. Yeah, they always had a great kit.
They were sponsored by Nintendo as well, and they had that purple kit, didn't they? Batistuta.
Right, yeah. Batistuta played for them. That's right. Yeah.
Liam B, when do we play our next friendly? I'm glad you asked, Liam. It's tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Real Sociedad.
Yeah. Nobody's going. I'm out with the kids tomorrow. They're finishing school tomorrow, so we're going out as a family.
Be cold, won't it? Cold.
Yeah.
Is it as cold over there as it is in Vienna right now?
Oh, it's fucking freezing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm getting old. I don't know if it's a sign of getting old, but I'm starting to feel the cold.
Probably.
I never used to, but I was waiting for my son. I was on school pickup yesterday, and I couldn't feel my head. And my son looked at me like, "Your ears have gone purple." I couldn't feel my head.
You got a head like mine, Barney. There's no solace. You can't get away from it. It's so weather beaten. I don't feel any cold or anything now.
I know. Yeah, I'm definitely getting softer in my old age. I've had to buy a new coat. One of these down ones, sleeping bag, portable sleeping bag. It's done wonders though.
Somebody was saying about turning your thermostat down a degree, you know. So we did that for a bit. Me and Lisa were like, no, we're determined to try and help, you know, with the cost of living as well and environmental stuff. They reckon if you turn your thermostat down a degree, it'll reduce the sort of global warming temperatures quite significantly if everybody does it. Mate, I'm not being funny. We did it for about a week. It's been Baltic this week, and then it was like, fuck that, get it notched up 25. Okay. Yeah, so, and then I've just changed all the settings because we were having it coming on a lot less, and it's like, no, I'm not having it. And I never feel the cold, but I've felt it this week. Yeah, like this last couple of weeks, actually. So, yeah, stage, and it catches up with you.
Well, they say that your body can't work over 18 degrees anyway. So if you increase your thermostat over 18, there's no point because you're not going to get any hotter.
I feel a lot warmer, mate. I've got to tell you. It's worked for me.
Yeah, well, we've just got a wood oven, so that's us. If you just put some more wood on the fire.
He started setting furniture on fire in the corner of his room.
Yeah, that's it. Asking for coal for Christmas.
But it used to be a punishment when he got coal for Christmas. Now it's like fucking gold, isn't it?
Yeah,
better than jewelry.
Now you know. Now you know why. It used to be a Christmas present. This country, the UK is going places, I'm telling you. Let's see. We ain't doing no business. In this window, nobody wants us, says Derek. Speaking of which, Clicky. Are we going to get rid of Click? Now, I was really not happy about this when I first heard it, and everybody in the group was going, "No, it's the right decision. Click needs to, he's not going to play here. Just let him go to DC United." And I was thinking, at least one of you bastards could agree with me.
I think
he's
I
contracted
agree.
to Leeds. God damn it, we need him.
Barney,
and plus,
Yeah, you have to get rid of that shirt. Just had it done.
It's the curse of the names on the back.
Exactly. What's your thoughts on Klitsch, Barney?
I know there's a lot of people say that we need to move on from that team that got us promoted, but I just love Click as a person and also as a player, and I think a player like that deserves to end his contract of where he wanted to stay and get us somewhere. I mean, he'd probably love America and the culture there as well, but I just feel that sometimes we forget how we've got here. And yeah, we should move on from some of those players, but we should never forget what those players put their body through, especially Click. The amount of games he played for 2 years non-stop was ridiculous. And the fact that his career nearly never started at Leeds United because he was sent on loan as soon as he came in, and he said, "I'm going to come back and play for this team." And still, when he comes on, he's still got that bit of class about him. Yeah, he's 31 years old, but he's still an experienced player that you need in this league. And if you're just going to sell him, who are we going to get in? We'll probably say, right, we've got an under 21 that's going to come through the ranks, but we shouldn't be relying on under 21s to
Adam Forshaw.
well, yeah. I mean, for you, Hugh, and you probably I don't, because I'm obviously a little bit younger than you.
You're not that much younger than me.
But you probably remember the promotion.
Any chance.
But you'll probably remember the promotion side of under Wilco and winning the league as well, and having to say, right, some of those players have got to have to go now. But there's a fine line saying get rid of them, forget about them, and say, right, keep them, and then they retire or whatever.
Well, I think the great example of that for me from that generation would be Vinnie Jones, because Vinnie Jones was absolutely bought to shithouse and kick the lumps. Well, he became a much better player at Leeds, admittedly, under working with people like Strachan and McAllister and so on. But he was a player who, at the time, was brought in to be that hard man, that do a certain job on a pitch and stiffen up that midfield, because it had a lot of talent in it, but it was quite nice people. And I think Jones was brought in to do a job and actually perform far better football-wise than anybody imagined he could do. But the minute we got promoted, and I think Wilkinson recognised in the Premier League he wasn't going to be able to produce what we needed at that time, and he was probably a great example of somebody that was moved on very quickly, who probably still could have done a job for Leeds. And would I think the other important thing to say about Vinnie Jones is I still remember when he came, the number of lads who got a tattoo or used to go to the barbers every Saturday and get the Vinnie Jones V in the back of their head. He created he almost transcended, from the football pitch into the terraces. So quite a lot of young people were really influenced by him because he was absolutely. I mean, he bled Leeds when he played for us, and he got a tattoo. I remember when he came back when he played for. Did he go to Sheffield United and then go to Wimbledon again? In my head, I've got that he went back to Wimbledon towards the end of his career. And I think they played us at Ellen Road, and he was running up and down the touchline towards the end of his career, warming up. And obviously all the Leeds fans loved him. We were like, Vinny, Vinny. And he pulled his sock down and he had the Leeds United champions badge on his calf, the tattoo. So it ever be remembered by me and a lot of that generation. And he was a cult, absolutely. The definition of cult hero, cult figure at a club, he was it at Leeds at that period, but was sacrificed because Wilkinson, who, let's be honest, knows a bit about football and standards, probably thought we've had what we wanted out of him and it's time to move on. Is Klitsch in that same league? Is there another half a dozen? We've talked about this before, being really brutal and heartless. I personally, I know, Donny was looking for, people in his corner that day, and I probably didn't help because I was like, not just about Leeds United, about the player that is served. Absolutely couldn't have done any more for the club. And if he wants to move to America and have a new challenge and a new experience, as he said, he'll probably love it out there, the kind of things that he's interested in. Let him. Let him go on and go do that. Will he be missed? Absolutely. Is he going to do a massive job for us in the next 18 months, 2 years? I don't believe he is. So Prince of Darkness as I am, there's no room for sentimentality in this game. You have to build a squad that's going to be able to keep us in and propel us up this division. So, yeah, I'd personally say if he wants to go in January, and club are happy to let him go. It's the age-old argument of it's that you've just said it. Who do you bring in that's going to replace a Klitsch? Because he's a good footballer. He's a goal-scoring midfield, although he hasn't been doing that too often of late.
Just found a bit of form, though.
Yeah, he has. And, you talk about Giabi. He's keeping players like Forshaw and Klitsch at the club, holding back obviously a very young but very talented footballer. 100%. It's how much you've got trust in that young lad to take on the role of. Yeah, and I think me and Donny agreed on this. I'd rather see Klitsch there than Forshaw, Roberts, who's been loaned out, Forshaw, who's still there. There's other players who should have gone well before Klitsch, in my opinion, but do they have a value? Probably not. Klitsch is the one that might have a little bit of value. If we, knowing Leeds, we're probably giving him away as well. So that's another frustration.
Yeah, so for me, we've really lacked Premier League experience this season so far. We went on absolutely sinking run of games. About, I think it was 8 games without a win, something like that. We've been guilty of being very naive, lacking game management, been succumbing basically to the dirty tactics or the dirty side of football. Other clubs have come to Ellen Road specifically, shithoused us on our own park. Time wasted, wound us up, made little niggly fouls, done all those things that you'd expect us to be doing. Too nice, too kind. And Adams, for all the potential I see, for all the brilliant stuff he does, he still doesn't, he's not savvy enough yet. And Click is somebody who's really, really savvy. And Adams is not positionally aware enough. There were several times, I can think of 3 or 4 times where he's been out of position. They've had a free man on the edge of the box because both him and Rocker are in the wrong position. They've either haven't got back yet or they've run too far and there's 3 men on the edge of the box and they've scored. That's happened a few times.
Holland did it twice and he was at fault, I reckon, probably exactly the same as you've just described in the World Cup there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Click and Phillips knew their positions completely because of Bielsa, because Bielsa drilled it into them. I mean, it helped that they went man for man as well. So then you don't leave any free men anywhere. Certainly not at the edge of the box. But for me, I think he's a huge miss. I think it's, for want of a better word, completely stupid and idiotic to get rid of him in January. I think that in the middle of a season where but for that Anfield game, we're in deep shit this season. We are, and we hoped we weren't, but we are. And that 8-game run without a win. You can't sugarcoat it, and you can't think, oh, we don't need to buy anyone in January, or we can let Click go on his merry because thank him for his service and everything. For me, no, he's contracted to the club. We've got big problems this season. We need him. Let him go in the summer, replace him in the summer. But yeah, unless you're getting Amrabat or I was
going to say, would you, devil's advocate, would you bring in that number 8 from Morocco for him? Would you swap tomorrow?
I would, yeah, because it's an experienced player. But my worry is, and I've defended the club for so long now, is that there's certain transfer windows, and they always say January transfer window never works. But the actual fan base is on a cliff edge now of how much more they can take from what the board is doing in transfer windows. Some transfer windows are good, but I actually feel sorry for Orta at times because I think he does try to get that deal across, but then all of a sudden someone at the top will say, no, we can't afford it. And I think that if you say, right, we're going to get rid of an experienced player, and then Kinnear does the old classic program writing of being really cocky and say, we don't want to stump the growth of the youth coming through, and then all of a sudden win a relegation fight again. It's not going to work this time. Last season, it got to a point where it wasn't working, but we believed in the team that got us promoted, and also because of Bielsa. But this season already, some fans are already on it already because the amount of shit that we went through last season for it. I mean, we all of us were watching that Brentford game, And when we won, stayed up, we all said together, I don't want to go through that shit again. And at the moment, it feels like we could go through that shit again because of the decisions made at board level.
Yep, and the big thing in the summer was squad depth, right? That was the big thing. We're going to get rid of our best two players, Phillips and Raphinha, but we're going to be better for it because we're going to have a bigger squad. So I think if you get rid of Click, and you don't replace him, I assume they're not going to replace him because I assume that we need to get rid of Click to get him off the wage budget so we can bring in, the left back that we need and the striker that we need. I assume that's what's happening because it was one in, one out with Dan James on the last day.
And Marsh said as well is that it's not about the size of the squad depth, it's about the experience of the squad depth. So if we're getting rid of experience, you'd expect experience back in, not a 19-year-old. I mean, I can't pronounce his name, the under-21 lad from Man City that we've got.
JB.
Yeah,
Darko JB.
I've watched him live. He's too good for the under-21s, but if you're expecting him to play against Man City on the 28th, I think it's a massive ask for him to do because he's not played in the Premier League yet, and it's unfair on the lad as well.
Yeah. You would have thought that could go quite badly as well because, a little bit of point to prove to his former club, of course. He might, lose the plot a bit, not be able to focus on the job at hand.
But it could work the other way. I think this is the thing we've always said, isn't it? That
if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, and I think that you don't learn to play at that level unless you play at that level. So why not give him a chance? And I'll come on to this on the your thing, but I've watched a load of stuff about sport recently, and I won't give away the your thing bit. But boxing, American football thing that I watch. Every successful team goes through this thing about trusting the process. It's a bit like we used to say about Bielsa, trust your swing. If you're going to trust in that process, you've got to do it 100%, and everybody's got to buy into it. And I think the problem now is there's division, certainly in the fan base, and sometimes seemingly at the club, between everybody being bought into the process at Leeds United. And I think that's causing some of the problem, because if you had a team that you trusted on the pitch, I wouldn't see a problem with throwing a Gerrard in there. I think the problem is you've got too many uncertainties and too many people not performing. So you've brought a new right back in who's not performing as well as the old right back. You've got, centre halves that aren't, Llorente's not doing it. Cox questionable. Firpo's not doing it.
Pardon?
Out. You're just going around the whole team going, well,
yeah.
How can you throw a kid in there? I always think back to the time when we won the league, and you had people like Tinkler and Ford and all these young players who completely got lost and let down, Jamie Forrester, whatever, because they were playing in a poor team with no confidence, and they suffered because of it. So the last thing you want is to throw potentially an asset and a good young player into a team of little confidence, of underperforming experienced pros, because it will have a negative effect. Has he muted himself?
Yeah, can I hear you?
Whoops.
Hello. That was good.
Hi.
It was like, hey, he's got my disease.
Sorry. I've been, I muted myself because, did a little burp. Speaking of food, going to have corned beef hash cakes whilst I watch this lovely stream. Glad to see you again. McAllister Bishop, good to see you too.
Corned beef always reminds me of that Phoenix Nights song with corned beef.
Oh yeah, I can never get that. I can never get that plastic bag song out of my head.
Oh, yeah. Come and get your black bags on offer till December.
Buy your straight or bender.
Yeah, that's something. Another corned beef song. But is McAllister Bishop, is he half Argentinian, half Scottish as well? Because it sounds a bit...
McAllister. Yeah.
No, basically he's got Scottish heritage. So South Americans, if they know they've got Scottish heritage, they like to name their kids the Scottish name, apparently.
You've ever seen his dad? Have you seen McAllister, the guy who plays for Argentina? Have you seen his old man?
No.
He's like the most Scottish-looking bloke you've ever seen. He looks like Alex McLeish. It's hilarious. He's like this. I don't know the full story, but I've seen a couple of pictures recently. It's like he couldn't be more Scottish if he tried. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, brilliant.
Scotland
Gary
absolutely
McAllister still lives
fuming.
in Harrogate.
Oh, really?
He does, yeah.
Do you see him about?
Well, no, I was talking to a mate at work, and he was in a Chinese, and he did like the look, and Gary McAllister looked back. Gary McAllister's in there having getting a Chinese.
Well, Southgate lives in Harrogate. McAllister, Danny Mills, our favourite Leeds United, ex-Leeds United player, still lives in Harrogate, doesn't he?
Who else? Brian
Jesse
Dean?
Marsh lives there.
Jesse Marsh?
Lad who's on Dawson. Is it Dawson who used to play for Hull? He's Weatherby or Harrogate somewhere, yeah. Yeah, he's on Sky Sports.
Aronson lives in Harrogate.
Aronson?
Harrison.
Harrison.
Aronson.
Harrington. Yeah. I was going to say. Hope the weather warms up a bit for the 28th, says Joseph Williamson. Do you know, I'll never forget it. Leeds 0, Liverpool 0. Can't remember which year. But we were just sitting there and it was just raining. It was so cold and it was 0-0. It was probably the worst game I've ever seen. I think maybe one team hit the crossbar. I can't remember if it was, probably Liverpool. And it was just so boring. All the game was played right in the middle of the park. And we were just sitting there like, why do we do this to ourselves?
The coldest game I ever went to was at Fulham. We played Fulham at home, and it was on Wednesday night in the Championship. We knew we weren't going to win. And then all of a sudden, Lewis Cook did this absolute worldie.
That needs to be our motto. Fuck a side before self. Yeah, we need to get the new one up. We knew we weren't going to win.
There's belief for you.
But Lewis Cook did this absolute worldie. Like, blimey, that was a good goal, because he never used to score for Leeds. Do you remember it?
Well, many did it. Yeah, I do. It was from way out, wasn't it? Like 35 yards out, just into top right and
top corner, top right and yeah.
Coldest game I've ever been at Oldham away, and I'd fucking defy anybody to quote me a colder ground than fucking Boundary Park away. It's fucking, even in summer it's freezing. In winter, I think we went one February to watch Leeds play there, and I've got to tell you, it's probably one of the few times I've wanted to just leave the ground and go in a warm pub and get warm, because it was in my bones. I don't think I'm warmed up for about 3 days. The away end there's shocking as well. So, and I'm talking about late 80s, I think, maybe 89. Probably I'm trying to think if it was season before we went up, but they got promoted up to the Premier League as well, didn't they? But I've been back. I went back when Becchio scored. When they wore that pink kit, so that must have been about 2012, maybe, I think. And it was still fucking freezing. It was a night game, that one. And it wasn't particular. I don't think it was a particularly cold time of year, but it's Baltic, man, proper freezing.
So there was always the games where you're going to get snowed on. It doesn't happen very often. Probably once every 2-3 seasons. But we would get our thermals on, underneath, so because we used to go skiing a lot. Yes, we lived in that kind of the posh end of Leeds. We went skiing and did shit like that. Anyway, we had our thermals on, and we had our big jackets, and we had a big thermos of hot chocolate. And because you're prepared, and you've got your big thermal boxing gloves on. But that day against Liverpool, we weren't ready for it, really. It was just like jeans and a coat, but it was just soaked, everything soaked to the sock, to the skin.
My 19th birthday, when Mel Sterling scored that free kick. Remember the free kick against Man United away, 1990? I was literally on my birthday. That was cold. And there's quite a lot of fans didn't make it because of the snow. They scored first. I can't remember who scored for them, but Mel Sterling scored that free kick where he thought he's not going to hit it from there, is he? He was about 40 yards out. It felt like he was miles out. And there were some proper limbs that day in the stand, and I think people were doing it partly just to keep warm. That was a cold day as well. So that was at Old Trafford, 1990, December the 8th, 1990. My 19th birthday. What an away day that was! First season back up in the Premier League. One drawing away at Man United. It was brilliant. Cold day.
Okay. What should we do? We don't have that much time left. So I've got some talking points here that we could choose. Performance so far this season. Real Sociedad. Or the little quiz.
Oh God, let's do the quiz. Nobody wants to
let's do the quiz.
Sociedad. Who gives a shit? And performance of the season so far. What for a Leeds player?
No, just the whole team. So no one wants to talk about Sociedad, okay?
Well, sorry, that was a very sweeping and very brilliant.
No, I'm not fussed either. Yeah. I think it's ridiculous for having to talk about pre-season games halfway through a season.
Well, you're right, Barnes. I'm right behind you on that one. Okay, so I don't know how we're going to do this quiz. I can just mark you, right? Barnes, Mark,
viewers, or listeners, whatever.
And a viewer. So you can tell us in the chat. You can put your guesses in the chat. But it's got to be timed because otherwise people will Google it, right?
Yeah. Well, Google's for noodles. If you want to cheat, you're only cheating yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, true. Okay. So we'll go with Pascal Struijk first up. Middle name.
Is it half Dutch, half something else, isn't it?
You want a clue?
He's
close.
Isn't he from? Hasn't he got Asian?
Werewolf.
Yeah.
He's a third Dutch, third Asian, third werewolf.
The clue is it's Roman.
Caesar.
Close. Very close.
Simon.
No, very cold. Very cold.
Julius.
No, that's it. I'm not giving it to you. And the viewers haven't said anything either.
Nero.
Nope. Augustus. Pascal Augustus Struijk. How's that for?
That's a real strong name, isn't it? Strong
name, yeah.
Right.
No, not being Roman. She might have liked Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Okay, now we're going to go on to club captain. Now he's got two middle names, so a point for each one.
Hewitt's got to be one of them.
Oh, you can have, let's say, 4 guesses.
What, each? Be here all night. I just want to dance all night.
Well, I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2 guesses for one name, but he's got 2 middle names. So,
go on then, Barney.
He's from Holiday, so it'll be probably a rough name.
It's Scotland's finest.
Oh yeah, could be Scottish.
I'm going to go for Jordan.
Nope. Far too exotic.
The older names, yeah. Liam.
That's
David.
Yeah,
David.
That's one of them. Bads has got a point.
Well, I'm going to say that. I thought, no, it won't be David.
Bads has got 1 point.
Andrew.
No. You've got 1 more, or 2 more guesses. Come on. But you run out of time. Nope. That's the last name, not middle name.
Stewart.
Morris. That's another last name.
Peter.
It was Ian.
Oh, Ian.
What shit names?
Liam, David, Ian, Cooper.
So basically, his parents have said, right, I know we've got to call him Ian because that's my dad's name. Then we've got to call him David because that was my...
That's your dad's name. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, now, maybe one that you've heard of, I don't know. Leo Yildiz, middle name.
Are you kidding me, are you?
No, you didn't hear it? I'm sure we talked about it in a previous podcast.
Isn't it like a really simple name as well?
I've slept since then. Fucking hell. I don't listen to our podcast. Fucking hell, you expect me to read it? Go back over.
Dear. Unfortunately, it's probably one of those that if you didn't actually know it, you're not going to, there's no way you're going to guess it.
Jan.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll give you a clue. It sounds like a dictator. That's a huge
Mussolini.
clue.
No, what's his name? Gaddafi. Leo Gaddafi Helder. Fucking what a name. Strong name. Kim Jong-un.
Why hasn't he been given a chance with a name like that?
Kim Jong-un. Held. Beauty. Do
you know what? You're quite close with that guess.
Adolf, definitely.
Think a bit outside the box.
I'm not very good at thinking outside the box.
I'm Frank.
I'm Frank. Yeah. Goering.
I'm Frank.
Leo and Frank Yeld. What a name that would be.
Leo Yelder's The Diary of Leo Yelder.
No, he must be locked in. He must be locked in a small room if fucking he's still not getting a game above Fairport. He's got to be locked in a cupboard or something if he's not getting a game over Fairport. Fuck me.
It's Fuhr. 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 Okay, let's go with an easy one. Joseph Gelhardt, middle name. Feel free to get involved in the chat. Nobody's guessed yet. Yeah.
Joseph Joffrey Gelhardt.
No, that's his nickname.
Joseph. Sounds a bit Irish, so I'm going to go Patrick.
Do you know what? That's close. One more guess. Very close, though. Very close.
I'm getting close, but no cigar.
Paul.
Oh, Barney! It's 2-0. It's 2-0.
He's just waiting for me to come up with a beautiful answer from no, and then just fucking plagiarising. What the heck?
It's all gone wrong.
I know. I'm going to show up. I'm not saying out next time. I'm going to steal yours.
It's all gone wrong.
Of course, it was the disciples. It's going to be the disciples, isn't it? Joseph, Peter, Joseph, Paul, Mark. It's going to be one of them, isn't it?
Oh, fuck. Stop touching keep touching your microphone. Right. Yeah. It's too loud, yeah. Okay. Right. Brendan Aronson, middle name.
Marcus.
Just gonna wait it out.
Yeah, I'm throwing a fish out there for Barney to hook in.
No. I'll give you a clue. It's a comedian.
Bernard Manning.
A modern one?
Ramesh.
Is it comedian American or
Brendan Ramesh Aronson?
Yeah, it's him. That's the one. Yeah, is it an American comedian or British?
No, it's a British comedian. A southerner. Gone a bit weird in the head.
Oh, not James.
Nope. Oh. Lots of clues there, though. Lots of clues.
Southern comedian was a bit wrong in the head. Fucking slow to them, isn't they?
Yeah.
Rob. I think of anybody now. You sure it's not Ramesh? He's from London. He's a bit wrong.
Have a think about Brendan Aronson and think about whether Ramesh might be an appropriate middle name for him.
Absolutely 100%. Convinced that's it.
No. Russell.
Which Russell's that? Which comedian's that then? Russell
Brand?
Oh,
to say comedian's a stretch For
Thinks
Russell
he's
Brand's
Jesus?
comedian. Yeah.
I suppose he's
Why has he gone weird?
He's gone into
Oh,
all
it's always been
conspiracy
weird.
theories and
Oh, really?
yeah, he releases conspiracy theories every day on his YouTube channel. It's all a bit weird.
Oh, God.
Right then, last few. Robin Koch.
My God. Fiora, Adolf, anything German. Vinky Holland, Spitzer, Schwanzer.
I'll give you a clue. Used to be part of the pod.
Alex.
Nope.
Ooh.
Stats.
You think Stats is Cock? Robin Stats Cock?
It's his middle name.
Stop it, Stats.
Leon.
Hey!
Equaliser, get in. Come on,
There
come
you
back
go.
now, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no, in fact, you're still ahead, aren't you?
Yes. Now it's a very unusual spelling, but I'll give you whatever it is. So Tyler Adams, middle name.
Axel.
Nope.
Unusual.
Begins with S.
Sven.
I'll tell you what. Sved.
Sven.
As in Sven Göran Eriksson?
Yeah.
Steven.
No. No, you're getting close there.
Stefan.
Stewart.
Nope. I really want Mac to get this to equalise it, so then we've got a tiebreaker. Yeah.
Attention.
Simon. Stuart Simon. Is it
Scott.
a traditional name?
Yes. No, it's not. Yes, it's
not a
traditional.
name or no, it's not Scott. Oh, yeah,
Yes, it's
not
traditional.
Scott.
No, it's not the traditional spelling. No, it's not Scott.
Stephen.
Yes, no, yes.
No, not Stephen.
Saul.
It's Sean, but you don't spell it like Sean. You spell it
S-H-A-W-N.
S-H-A-N. Sean.
What a load of shit. Honestly, they're making this shit up, man.
Sean. Right, couple of easy ones to finish. Try and get you a win.
I'm so invested in this, Barney. I'm really invested in it now, mate. I tell you now, I wanted to win. Should do this every week.
Stuart Dallas. Middle name.
Oh.
Trick. Padraig. Stuart.
Nope.
Daniel.
Give you a clue. Make it interesting. Begins with A.
Andrew.
Nope.
Aaron.
Anthony.
Nope. Close. Barney was so close.
Anthony.
Nope.
Anderson.
Nope.
He's not Brazilian. Stuart.
Aaron is close.
Adam.
No, Adam is very close.
Piss off.
Aiden.
No, you got one more guess.
Ainsley. Yes. Michael Luke's just coming with Ainsley. I'm going to go Ainsley.
That's wrong. You shouldn't listen to Michael Luke.
Arfan.
I'm sorry, but Alan, finally a B.
Oh, Alan.
Finally,
Liam.
one of the chat's coming
Liam
back
B's
as well.
Had one go and Liam B's had one go and he's on the same points as me.
Barnes 2, Mac 1, chat 1. Right. Adam Forshaw.
Stuart.
Nope.
David.
Nope, but that's that's kind of close. Not the same letter, but traditional.
Stephen.
Nope.
Ryan.
Nope. Come on, chat. Chat's delayed as well.
Paul. Philip.
No, but Paul's
We've got
close.
two older this
Paul is close.
Peter.
Oh, so close.
Pete.
Harry.
Pete.
Oh, Peter and Paul.
Fucking what? Peter, Paul, and Mark, Luke, John.
Hey!
That's what you get for going to Sunday school, Barney.
Harry from Stunik, the guest from Stunik, was incorrect. Sorry, but thank you for the. Thank you. Right, it's the tiebreaker. Barnes 2, Mac 2.
See, it's like we planned this.
Chat 1. It only took us 20 minutes. Oh, Barnes has to go. Barnes has to go really soon. Okay. Should we go for an easy one or should we go for an impossible one? Maybe the easy one, right?
Yeah.
Easier.
We've talked about him earlier today. Jack Harrison.
Manuel.
Nope.
Stephen.
Nope. Traditional name, though. Traditional name.
Mark.
Nope.
David.
Mary, says Stu.
Yeah, nice one, Stu.
What did you say, Mac? What did you say?
Stuart. Mary.
No,
David.
What did you say? Is that what you said? David?
Yeah, David.
You say
Michael.
David?
Yeah, David.
Final
yeah.
final answer?
Yeah.
Fanny! 2-0, and you fucked it up 2-0.
2-0.
And you fucked it up 2-0.
I'm a comeback king, aren't I?
It's so Leeds, isn't it? So Leeds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good game.
dear.
We should do that every week, man. We should have that should be a spot every week. Guess the player's middle name.
Yeah, quiz.
100%.
Quiz of some variety.
Definitely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Got some audience participation going in end.
Yeah, it took a while, but we got there. Right. National Gambling Treatment Service. I have a National Gambling Helpline. You can give them a call anytime, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I know that gambling is a problem for some people, so there's no need to be ashamed about it. If you do need to help, there's another number as well, 0808 8020133. That's Be Gamble Aware. Free phone 24/7. Talk to your mates. Andy's Man Club as well. Get involved. Just talk to people. We're here. We're here to help you out.
No such thing as a skid bookie, so that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, that's it. Right. You've got to go, don't you, Barnes?
I do, yeah.
Do you want to just go and then we'll do what's your thing, Mac, or do you have to go as well?
Oh, well, I'll quite. If Barney's happy for 2 seconds, it'll take me 2 seconds to do it. But
yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to do. So in the great tradition of us talking about, well, particularly Leeds United, but sport. Have you watched the test? We haven't talked about this before, have we, Donny? On Amazon Prime.
I have actually watched that. It's about the Australians, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not a massive cricket fan, right? And I'm not particularly an Australian fan either. I mean, the downside of watching the test on Amazon Prime is you actually start to like Australians, which is a really weird feeling for me. But what a brilliant sports documentary that is. So it's basically a documentary of the period of time after Steve Smith and Warner and the other lad were found guilty of cheating in the test match. And it's the kind of repercussions of that and bringing in Justin Langer, is it, to be the new coach of the Australian team with like Ponting and Brad Haddon on his team. And I thought, I'll just watch it, see what it's like. And I've I watched about 3 in a row. I thought it was brilliant. And again, I'm not a massive cricket fan, but it's about the sort of psychology of sport. And I've talked already, I said before, trust the process, stick to the process and the outcomes will follow. Even if you're not getting the results immediately, you don't get an instant turnaround on bringing in, losing your 2 or 3 best players and bringing in loads of young lads to play football. But I guess Leeds United, probably why I'm saying it on a Leeds United podcast, that we could learn some lessons from this, that you're not going to get when Bielsa went and we brought Marsh, you're not going to get this sudden influx of successful results, and it's not going to suddenly turn around overnight. So to stick to the process, which I think our friend Mr. Radrazani has quoted on a number of occasions, to be fair. But if you get a chance on Amazon Prime, it's called The Test. It's about the Australian cricket team touring, England, Pakistan, and the kind of rebuilding of a team that was shattered by the kind of cheating controversy that happened. and it's really, really good. It's very watchable. It's a kind of warts and all. It's not one of them where they say it's warts and all, and then there's very little changing room footage or, kind of getting into the depth of what Lanner's trying to do to create this culture and this thing. But what I found really interesting was how he talked about, and I guess it probably resonates with me because of Bielsa. It's not just on about creating brilliant cricket players or successful cricket players. He talks about being a good person off the field as well, and how important it is to have both to be a successful young sportsman in this day and age. So yeah, give it a look up if you can.
Okay, that's the test. The irony, or just a quick counterpoint to that, would be the England cricket team, because they've recently got a new coach and new captain, and they've turned around their form unbelievably fast. But the documentary is fantastic, and that's a very rare situation that's happened with England. Barney, what's your thing? Final thoughts?
What's my well? I don't want to get too political or royalist, but I've been watching Harry and Meghan, and it's
you watched it. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
really, really interesting.
Your Harrogate mansion.
Well, I don't want to go down that road, but I am a bit of I do like the Royals, I must admit, but I'm not one of those ones that hard get your British flag up kind of thing. But some of it is quite upsetting, and some of it is a very much parallel world of where Princess Diana was, and that was all before social media. Now it's even more amplified now with social media, the amount of news outlets out there, it's there straight away in your face. So it is quite upsetting, some of the scenes you're seeing. It's upsetting because I mean Harry and William are the same sort of age as me, and I remember thinking, Christ, 12 years old, if my mum had died, I wouldn't know what to do, especially having to walk in front of a nation behind a coffin as well. So I can see why they're doing this, but that's all I'm going to say, because it's one of those things, isn't it, where people are either that or that. So there's no fine line between it. So that's my thing. It's worth watching.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, the best point I heard about that in recent days is, we have an armed forces that pledge their allegiance to the king or the queen. Would you prefer an armed forces that pledge allegiance to, for example, Liz Truss?
Definitely not.
Or Boris Johnson. And I think that's probably the best point I've heard at the moment so far. But yeah, it's a very complex issue. There's pros and cons on both sides. It's difficult to fall on one side. But I would say if you look at the US, they broke away from the monarchy, obviously, and created a republic. And I'd much rather be living in England, to be honest. I've been to the US a few times and I felt very unsafe. Brexit all over, says Dan Van Cleef. We did a fundraiser for NHS charities together a year ago, and they're on strike today, the biggest strike ever of the nurses. So a massive clap to them, and hopefully they get what they need. Right, come on, Leeds.
Come on,
See you
Leeds.
soon.
See ya.
Subscribe to the pod, you peacock.